Sonnet 86 by William Shakespeare, 1564 to 1616. Was it the proud full sail of his great verse, bound for the prize of all too precious you, that did my ripe thoughts in my brain in-hearse, making their tomb the womb wherein they grew? Was it his spirit, by spirits taught to write above a mortal pitch, that struck me dead? No, neither he nor his compeers by night gave him aid, my verse astonished. He, nor that affable familiar ghost which nightly gulls him with intelligence, as victors of my silence can boast. I was not sick of any fear from thence. But when your countenance filled up his line, then I lacked matter that enfeebled mine. Okay, so this is another sonnet by William Shakespeare. I think this is the last of the rival poets' sonnets. Let's see, clearly Shakespeare is suffering from what you might call writer's block, an inability to write, and he's just tongue-tied when it comes to the youth, and we've had several poems about that. But now Shakespeare's wondering why he's tongue-tied, why he can't write. And first of all, he asks if it's the proud great verses that his rival has been writing. But he comes to the conclusion it's not that. And then he wonders if it's the fact that his rival has been taught to write by a spirit, and the unbelievable quality of them has stopped him from writing. And he comes to the conclusion that it's not it. That's not it either. He thinks none of these things have stopped him. And then he says, but what's actually stopped me is the fact, or was the fact, that when you said that you actually rather liked the poetry by my rival, that perhaps you thought that the poetry by the rival was better, and that has just taken the wind out of my sails, and I'm just unable to write, and that's what's causing the writer's block. So, was it the proud full sail of his great verse, bound for the prize of all too precious you, that did my ripe thoughts in my brain in-hearse, making their tomb the womb wherein they grew? So was it the proud full sail, the flowery, the heroic words? This is a metaphor describing the poetry as a ship under full sail. And was it the full sail of his verse, the proud wonders, the proud impressive way that he's writing about you, the fact that he was going for you as the prize, that all too precious you was his prize, and all of this verse was about you? Is that what took my ripe thoughts, the thoughts that I had that were ripe, that were ready to be written, in my brain in-hearse? So is that what entombed my thoughts in my brain in-hearse? Again, a hearse, the vehicle for the dead. Did it entomb these in my brain, making their tomb the womb wherein they grew? So making my brain the tomb where these ripe thoughts grew. So here we've got a metaphor for a miscarriage. So these thoughts have been have come into Shakespeare's brain, these one lovely thoughts about the fair youth and how he loves him, but these have grown in his brain and then they have become entombed and died. So it's like a miscarriage, and they've been, the thoughts have grown and died within his brain. Was it his spirit, by spirits taught to write above a mortal pitch, that struck me dead? So was it the spirit of the rival poet? Was it the fact that my rival poet has been taught by unknown spirits, by magic spirits? Is this the reason why I can't write? Was he taught to write by spirits, that he writes better than a mortal should be able to write? Is that what stopped me from writing? No, neither he nor his compeers by night, giving him aid, my verse astonished. So no, it wasn't the rival poet, nor his compeers, nor the spirits that have taught him to write, that come by night to give him help, have frightened me into this writer's block, have frightened me into not being able to write about you. He, nor that affable familiar ghost which nightly gulls him with intelligence, as victors of my silence cannot boast. So the familiar ghost, well, very often they talk about a witch having a familiar, as an animal or a magic animal that helps them. And maybe that it's not the rival poet or the ghost which nightly tricks, which gulls him, which tricks him every night, and puts intelligence into him. Neither of these two things can be the victors of, can be the reason why I am silent, why the reason I cannot write. I was not sick of any fear from thence. So I'm not afraid of any fear from these sources. But when your countenance filled up his line, then I lacked matter that enfeebled mine. But when your countenance, when your face filled up his line, but when I saw that you were being written about in his lines, then I lacked matter, then I couldn't write. It took away my spirit to write about you. And I think it's the youth's, the fact that the youth likes the work of the other author. Your countenance. So notice this word countenance has a double meaning, and it's quite clever. When your countenance, your face, filled up his line, when your face, when your beauty was in his poetry, then I lacked matter. When your countenance, to countenance something, to accept something, to be willing to see something. So when you agreed with his lines, when you were happy with his lines, then I stopped being able to write, and that made my writing feeble. It took away my ability to write. So here he's saying that when you said you actually rather liked the poetry of the rival, that's when I lost my spirit to write. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Sonnet 86 by William Shakespeare.